Nothing here dies without a fight. Strength alone has never guaranteed victory. Every battle here has a price, and sometimes no one truly wins. Dusk falls over the Mara River. A buffalo bull has drifted too far from the herd, alone now, surrounded. A pride of lions closes in, 6 of them. This isn't an ordinary hunt. The buffalo is the only member of Africa's Big Five that regularly fights back and wins. Dr. Femke Broquist, who leads the Mara Predator Conservation Program, has documented buffalo killing lions more often than almost any other prey species on this river. The bull plants his feet, lowers his horns, doesn't run. A lioness lunges first, too close, too fast. The horns catch her mid-air. One toss, she hits the ground and doesn't get up again. The others hesitate. This changes the math entirely. 5 lions now. 1 badly wounded pride member already lost. The bull turns to face them, blood streaming from claw marks across his shoulders. Breathing hard, but still standing. Minutes pass. The pride circles, waiting for an opening that never fully comes. Eventually, numbers win. 2 lions hit the flanks at once. The bull goes down hard, roaring, horns still swinging even as the pride closes over him. But the fight isn't finished. A low rumble rolls across the grass. The rest of the herd, 100 strong, has heard the commotion and turned back. They come at a run. The lions barely have time to feed before the herd arrives. Horns lowered, thundering across the plain in a single unbroken wave. The pride scatters into the tree line, leaving the kill behind entirely. Tonight, the buffalo herd reclaims one of its own. No one here won cleanly. The lions lost a hunter. The bull lost his life, and even in death, he cost the pride more than they ever expected to pay. Nairobi researcher Hans Krug spent years living among spotted hyena clans at Ngorongoro Crater in the 1960s, and what he documented overturned decades of assumption. Lions and hyenas don't have a one-sided rivalry. They steal from each other constantly. And which direction the theft runs depends entirely on numbers and timing. At night, hyena clans dominate. A clan running 10 or more strong can drive a single male lion off a fresh kill through sheer noise and persistence. Circling, feinting, wearing him down until the calculation shifts and retreat looks safer than holding ground. A day, the math flips. Lions. Hunting in smaller numbers but far stronger individually. Routinely walk in on a hyena clan's kill and simply take it, size alone deciding the outcome when numbers can't compensate. Krug's fieldwork found something else too, a mutual hostility neither species reserves for anything else on this plain. Lions kill hyena cubs given the chance. Hyena clans mob and kill lone lions when the odds favor them enough. neither behavior is really about food. It's about a rival that competes directly for the exact same resource. Night after night, across the exact same ground. A whooping call rises across the crater floor most evenings, a summons that can pull a dozen clan members toward a contested carcass within minutes. Lions respond to that sound too, recognizing it as the marker of trouble worth avoiding, or worth confronting, depending entirely on how many of their own pride happen to be within earshot at that moment. This isn't a fight either species is destined to win. It's a running negotiation that resets every single night, decided fresh each time by whoever happens to outnumber the other when the two finally meet over the same kill. An arrangement neither side ever fully controls for long. Along the same stretch of river, two of Africa's most powerful animals share the water in an arrangement that looks, most days, almost peaceful. Hippos and Nile crocodiles occupy the same channels, the same muddy banks, sometimes within a few meters of each other. And for the vast majority of any given day, neither one acknowledges the other's presence at all. That truce holds because both sides understand exactly what breaking it would cost. An adult hippo's bite force ranks among the strongest of any land mammal. Jaws capable of closing on a crocodile's body with enough force to snap it in half in a single motion. A crocodile, even a large one, generally has no interest in testing that directly against a healthy adult hippo, and instead reserves its patience for weaker or more vulnerable targets elsewhere. The agreement breaks down almost exclusively around calves. A crocodile drifting too close to a hippo mother and her newborn crosses a line that triggers instant, overwhelming aggression. Adult hippos capable of charging through water at surprising speed. Jaws already open before the crocodile has fully registered the threat closing in. Documented encounters describe adult hippos killing crocodiles outright in these confrontations. A level of violence entirely absent from the rest of their daily coexistence. Territorial hippo bulls maintain a similar zero-tolerance policy around their own stretch of water, occasionally targeting crocodiles simply for occupying space a bull considers exclusively his own, regardless of whether any actual threat was ever present. This is peace held together by mutual respect for consequences rather than any real alliance. An uneasy standing agreement that can dissolve in an instant the moment either side crosses a line the other refuses to negotiate on. Particularly where offspring are involved, a truce that resets itself the moment the immediate danger has passed and both animals drift back to their separate corners of the same river. Nothing on this plane seems to understand fear the way a honey badger fails to. Weighing barely 12 kilograms, it regularly attacks snakes many times more dangerous than anything else its size would ever consider approaching, including cobras capable of delivering a dose of venom that would kill most mammals within the hour. Researchers studying honey badger physiology have documented partial resistance to snake venom, a biological buffer that doesn't make a bite harmless but does buy the animal time. Most other predators simply don't get One of the most extraordinary documented cases filmed in South Africa shows a honey badger bitten by a Cape cobra during a hunt, collapsing minutes later in what looked like death, motionless for nearly 2 hours, before abruptly waking up and resuming the exact same meal it had been bitten defending. That recovery isn't universal, and plenty of honey badgers do die from snake bite despite the resistance. But the behavior itself never changes based on that risk. A honey badger encountering a snake doesn't calculate odds the way most predators do. It engages directly, using thick, loose skin that lets it twist and counterattack even mid-bite. An anatomical trait that turns a losing position into a fighting chance more often than it should. Loose skin around the neck and shoulders means a snake's strike frequently fails to reach anything vital at all. Sliding across skin with enough give to absorb the worst of the impact. Combined with genuine venom tolerance, that combination has built one of the most reckless-looking survival strategies on the entire savannah. An animal that treats a fight most predators would flee from as simply another meal worth finishing. Odds be damned. The same reckless calculation repeated the very next time hunger and a snake happened to cross paths again. Not every deadly battle on this savannah happens on the ground. High above the grass, the martial eagle, Africa's largest eagle by mass, hunts prey that most birds of prey wouldn't dare approach, including young antelope that can weigh nearly as much as the eagle itself. Talons built for this exact purpose can exert crushing force well beyond what the eagle's size would suggest. Capable of piercing straight through hide and muscle in a single strike. A hunting stoop, the near vertical dive this eagle uses to close distance fast, can exceed 100 miles per hour in the final seconds before impact, closing the gap on a grazing animal before it registers the shadow crossing overhead. Documented kills include young impala, small antelope calves, and even the occasional young warthog. Prey categories far outside what most raptors on this continent would ever attempt. The strike itself typically targets the head or spine. Precision strike meant to end the confrontation in seconds rather than risk a prolonged struggle against an animal with legs and hooves capable of seriously injuring the eagle in return. That strategy carries real risk. Field records include martial eagles injured, sometimes fatally, by prey that fought back hard enough during the strike to cause lasting damage. A talon caught wrong, a kick connecting before the kill was finished. Success here isn't guaranteed the way size alone might suggest. This is a hunter operating in a different dimension entirely from every ground battle covered so far. Striking from a height no antelope can watch for continuously. Turning the open sky itself into just another hunting ground layered directly above the same grass, where lions, hyenas, and buffalo wage their own separate wars every single day. A second battlefield most animals on the ground never think to look up and check. One-on-one, this fight isn't close. A single spotted hyena outweighs a single African wild dog by a wide margin. And its bite force alone would end most confrontations before they properly begin. Wild dogs almost never fight one-on-one, and that single fact rewrites the entire equation. Botswana Predator Conservation Trust researchers tracking both species across the Okavango have documented wild dog packs successfully driving off hyena clans considerably larger in total number. A result that runs directly against what raw size comparisons alone would predict. The difference comes down to coordination. Wild dogs attack in tight, practiced formation, multiple animals converging on a single target from several directions at once, never allowing a hyena the clean angle it needs to use its crushing bite effectively. A hyena facing one dog can win often does, size and jaw strength deciding the outcome in seconds. A hyena facing four dogs attacking in relay, biting and retreating before it can retaliate, faces a completely different kind of fight, one built to wear down rather than overpower directly. Packs have been documented successfully defending kills against hyena clans, outnumbering them, discipline substituting for the raw physical advantage the hyenas would otherwise hold. This dynamic flips entirely once numbers shift far enough in the hyena clan's favor. A sufficiently large clan can still overwhelm even a well-organized wild dog pack through sheer weight of numbers, proving that organization buys an edge, not immunity. What decides this particular war, more than any other rivalry on this savanna, is arithmetic, a shifting balance between individual power and collective coordination that neither species has ever fully solved in its own favor. A truce written not in blood, but in whichever number happens to show up first on a given night. 5 battles, 5 completely different verdicts. Lions and hyenas trade dominance based on nothing but numbers in the hour of the day. Hippos and crocodiles hold an uneasy peace that breaks only around a calf. A honey badger risks death against venom every single time hunger and a cobra collide. A martial eagle turns the sky itself into a hunting ground. And wild dogs prove that coordination can flip a fight. Raw strength should have already decided. No single formula wins every war on this savanna. Every battle here runs its own separate arithmetic, decided fresh each time by whoever brings the right advantage on that particular day. Every battle covered so far involved teeth or talons, but across the antelope family, an entirely different weapon evolved 5 separate ways. Horns, same basic material, same basic purpose, and yet completely different fighting styles built into the exact same body part. Why would one weapon split into so many different doctrines of combat, all inside a single closely related family of grazing animals? The greater kudu carries horns that spiral and long, dramatic twists, sometimes completing 2.5 full turns from base to tip. When 2 males clash during the breeding season, they don't stab at each other the way some antelope do. They lock horns directly, twisting and shoving in a contest of pure strength and stamina. each male trying to force the other backward or off balance rather than pierce any vulnerable point. That locking mechanism carries a real documented danger unique to this species. On rare but repeated occasions, two kudu bulls have been found dead together, horns tangled so completely during a fight that neither animal could pull free again, both eventually dying from exhaustion, dehydration, or predation while still locked in the same failed contest. The spiral shape itself seems built almost specifically for this kind of grappling rather than direct impalement. Ridges along each horn's length, providing extra grip during a prolonged shoving match that can last many minutes before one bull finally concedes. Younger males often practice this same locking technique in lower stakes sparring matches long before any real breeding rights are actually on the line, refining the technique the way a wrestler drills the same throw repeatedly before a real match. Unlike a straight horn built for a single decisive strike, the kudu's spiral design rewards patience and sustained effort over a single moment of aggression. Fighting style built around outlasting a rival rather than wounding one outright. Most confrontations end without serious injury to either bull. Dominance settled through exhaustion rather than violence. The tragic exception, those rare fatal lockups, stands as a strange reminder that even a weapon this carefully evolved for controlled combat can occasionally turn its careful design into a trap neither combatant ever saw coming. The oryx carries almost the exact opposite weapon, nearly straight, rapier-like horns that can exceed 1 m in length on either sex. Both males and females carrying this same weapon, an unusual trait among African antelope where horns are typically a male-only feature. Where a kudu grapples, an oryx thrusts. This is a stabbing weapon built for direct, forward-driven contact rather than any prolonged wrestling match. And males contesting territory or breeding rights engage in fast, precise exchanges rather than the extended shoving contests kudu bulls favor. A single well-placed thrust can end a confrontation almost immediately, making these fights considerably shorter and considerably more dangerous than the kudu's drawn-out grappling matches. That danger extends well beyond rival oryx. Documented accounts describe oryx successfully killing lions that attempted to hunt them, driving those same straight horns directly into an attacking predator with enough force to prove fatal. A cornered oryx, unable to outrun a pursuing predator, will plant its feet and use exactly the same weapon built for contests against its own species. A lion learning too late that this particular antelope doesn't behave like easier prey nearby. Fighting stance reflects the weapon's purpose directly. Head lowered, horns angled forward, body braced to drive the full weight of the charge through a single point of contact rather than spread across a shoving match. Where the kudu's spiral horns occasionally trap two combatants together in a fatal accident, the oryx's straight horns carry a different risk entirely. A weapon precise and sharp enough that even a single miscalculated exchange between two evenly matched rivals can end in a wound serious enough to prove fatal on its own. No lockup required. No prolonged struggle needed to turn a routine contest deadly. Just a fraction of a second and a single point of contact. The wildebeest carries horns that curve outward and then sharply forward, forming a shape built almost entirely around pushing rather than piercing or grappling. During the rutting season, males stake out small territories across the plain and defend them through a ritualized combat style built around headlong collisions, dropping to their knees and slamming forehead first into a rival. Horns angled to absorb and redirect that impact rather than to stab. This is combat measured in shoves rather than wounds. Two wildebeest bulls will lock into repeated head-to-head collisions, each one testing the other's balance and stamina. A contest that looks, from a distance, almost like a slow-motion demolition derby rather than the fast, precise exchanges an oryx favors. Territories won through this ritual are small, sometimes barely a few dozen meters across. But during the peak of the rut, control over even that tiny patch of ground can determine which bull actually gets to breed. Because the horn's curved shape distributes force across a broad forward surface rather than concentrating it at a sharp point. Serious injury during these clashes remains comparatively rare. Most contests ending once one bull simply tires of the pushing and yields the ground rather than through any decisive wound. That relative safety matters enormously given how frequently these confrontations occur, sometimes dozens of times in a single morning across a crowded rutting ground packed with competing males. Unlike the kudu's occasional fatal lockup or the oryx's precise, dangerous thrust, the wildebeest's horn evolved around a combat style built for repetition. A weapon designed to be used again and again across an entire breeding season without routinely killing the very rivals it was built to outlast. Season after season, the same bulls often facing each other again the following year. The impala carries slender, ridged horns that branch into a distinctive lyre shape. And unlike every weapon covered so far, this one was built primarily to avoid serious injury rather than inflict it. Males contesting dominance engage in fast, controlled sparring matches, horns interlocking briefly before both animals disengage and reset, a ritual far closer to a formal duel than an actual attempt to wound. That restraint isn't incidental. Impala live in tightly packed herds where a male seriously injured during a routine dominance contest becomes an easy target for the lions. Leopards and wild dogs constantly patrolling the same ground, a vulnerability that makes reckless fighting a genuinely bad long-term strategy, even for a male desperate to win breeding rights. Natural selection appears to have favored exactly the restraint that keeps a defeated male alive and mobile rather than wounded and exposed. Most confrontations resolve through repeated brief clashes and posturing rather than any single decisive blow, dominance often settled by which male simply persists longest without ever escalating to genuine violence. Ridges running along each horn's length help lock opposing horns together just long enough for a clean, controlled push. Then release cleanly rather than snagging the way a kudu spiral horns sometimes do. Freeing both animals to reset and try again without either one risking a truly dangerous entanglement. This is combat as negotiation rather than warfare. A weapon evolved specifically to settle disputes with minimal bloodshed in a species that simply cannot afford to lose fighting-fit individuals to injuries inflicted by their own rivals. Not when every real predator on this savanna is already waiting for exactly that kind of opening. torn muscle or a limp that turns a proud rival into tomorrow's easiest meal. The waterbuck carries horns noticeably shorter and thicker than most of its relatives on this list. Ridged and slightly curved, built less for a single decisive strike and more for a slow, grinding contest of raw endurance. Males contesting territory near the water's edge engage in prolonged pushing matches, horns locked together for extended stretches while both animals strain against each other. Neither one able to gain a quick, clean advantage the way an oryx's straight horns allow. This is the slowest, most attritional fighting style covered in this entire family. Closer in spirit to a wrestling match than any of the quicker, sharper contests other antelope favor. Waterbuck territories tend to be small and tightly packed along riverbanks and floodplains. Prime grazing ground concentrated in a narrow strip of habitat. And that crowding means males frequently find themselves defending borders against multiple rivals in quick succession, making a fighting style that avoids serious injury nearly as valuable here as it is for the impala. Thick, ridged horn bases absorb and distribute the strain of a prolonged shoving match, reducing the risk of the kind of catastrophic structural failure or fatal lockup documented in kudu. Fights here rarely end quickly, sometimes stretching on for many minutes of continuous strain before one male's stamina finally gives out and he yields the contested ground. A waterbuck's skin also carries an unusual, musky secretion that some researchers believe may serve as a natural deterrent to predators. An extra layer of defense that lets a male recovering from a long, exhausting contest survive the vulnerable period immediately afterward, when a fresh combatant would otherwise be at its most exposed to anything hunting nearby. One last quiet advantage layered on top of a fighting style already built entirely around outlasting rather than overpowering. Five horns, five doctrines of war, all built from the exact same material and aimed at the exact same goal, breeding rights and territory. The kudu grapples until one side breaks. The oryx strikes once and ends it. The wildebeest pushes, again and again, across an entire season. The impala fights to avoid ever truly fighting at all. And the waterbuck grinds out victory through sheer endurance. Evolution never settled on one correct weapon. It built 5 different answers to the exact same question, each one shaped by how much a species could actually afford to lose. None of these battles, lion against hyena, hippo against crocodile, honey badger against cobra, eagle against antelope, wild dog, or 5 different horns solving 5 different fights are meaningless violence. Every single one of them serves a purpose the savanna depends on to keep functioning at all. The lion-hyena rivalry keeps both predator populations honest. Neither one ever allowed to dominate a kill site completely, forcing both species to remain efficient hunters rather than settling into easy scavenging. The uneasy hippo-crocodile truce keeps river territory divided in a way that lets both apex species coexist across the same limited stretch of water without one driving the other out entirely. The honey badger's reckless confrontations with venomous snakes help control populations that would otherwise grow unchecked. The martial eagle's aerial hunts cap small and mid-sized herbivore numbers that ground predators alone could never fully manage. Wild dog, through sheer coordination, keep hyena clan sizes from expanding without limit, holding one predator's advantage in check through nothing but discipline. And across the antelope family, ritualized horn combat. Whichever style a given species evolved generally ensures that only the strongest, healthiest males pass on their genes each season. A filter operating quietly beneath the surface of nearly every breeding population on this entire savanna. Poaching for horns, ivory, and skins removes exactly the individuals these ritual battles were designed to select for. The largest, strongest, most successful fighters targeted first precisely because they carry the most impressive weapons. Habitat fragmentation, roads and fences cutting through territory that these species need room to contest fairly, is compressing fighting grounds that evolved over millions of years to handle far lower population density than many reserves now hold. Human-wildlife conflict is rising sharply as shrinking habitat forces species like lions and elephants into direct confrontation with people and livestock. A fight neither side ever evolved any real strategy to win cleanly. None of this trends the way a single dramatic battle caught on camera does, but there is real, measurable ground for hope. Long-term research from the Mara Predator Conservation Program and decades of hyena studies stretching back to Hans Krug's original fieldwork continue to reshape how conservationists manage predator populations, treating rivalries like the lion-hyena conflict as a natural balance worth protecting rather than a problem requiring human intervention. Cross-border migration corridors between Kenya and Tanzania are being actively restored, reconnecting fighting and breeding grounds that fences and development had begun to sever, and growing recognition that conflict itself, predator against predator, rival against rival, is not destruction but the very mechanism holding this entire ecosystem in balance, is slowly reshaping how these landscapes get protected going forward. For millions of years, the savanna settled its disputes through exactly the kind of violence covered across this entire story. Never gratuitous, never random, always serving some larger purpose and keeping the whole system honest. Remove that violence entirely and the balance doesn't improve. It collapses, the weak breeding unchecked, the strong given no reason to stay strong at all. The one battle this savanna never evolved any strategy for is the one now arriving fastest. Not claws, not horns, not venom, but a single species capable of ending every other war on this plain simply by taking away the ground it's fought on for millions of years.